Hello, everyone, and welcome to ITLS Academy Empower the Youth. Today, in this lecture, we will going to study about speech writing. We will see what is speech writing, what is the format of writing any speech, what are the basic rules that are used while delivering or while writing any speech, and we will also going to see a solve paper, or you can say a solve format related to speech writing. So let's get started with the topic. So the first thing is introduction. The introduction says a speech is a talk that is delivered to an audience in a public gathering. A speech may be delivered on social issue and in public interest. There can be welcome and farewell speeches, a speech by a chief guest during a function, etc. A speech should be made for a good reason, that is, to inspire, to instruct, or to offer support. A speech should not be confused with an essay or an article. An essay is meant to be read, whereas speech is meant to heard. Unlike an essay, speech starts with formal address and ends with a thank you. So, basically, what this introduction says that any speech, whether it is a farewell speech or a welcome speech or any other or speech on social issues or a speech on public interest. So what are these speeches are? They are a special talk that is delivered by a speaker to a public gathering. Let's say when you are in a school function, so your principal might might you know uh, invite any chief guest, right? So they invite chief guest. So when the chief guest arrived, so the speaker, what they do, they deliver a welcome speech in the sense they thank that chief guest for coming to the function. The speaker narrates what going to what the function is all about, what are the different activities or the different programs that are held today in the function. And when the function gets over, the chief guest say a few words. That words are very inspiring for the public as well as for the students if it is in the school, right? And after the chief guest, when they deliver the speech, what the speaker says, they gives a farewell speech may they thanks the chief guest for coming to the function, they thanks the chief guest for their valuable time, as well as they conclude this speech by saying thank you. But sometimes what people get confused, they might get confused between speech and essay. So speech is different and essay is different. How so? Because what speech is meant to be meant to be heard, means when someone is delivering something, though they are delivering for the public interest, they are delivering a speech that might be very inspiring for the public, and the speech is only meant to be heard. Whereas what is essay? An essay is meant to be read, right? So they are only meant to be read and speech is meant to be heard. In essay, what do you say? What do you unlike essays, just the speech that start with the formal address. Formal address means welcome a particular chief guest, or welcome give a welcome speech, you give right? A welcome, warm welcome to a person that has come to attend the function. And it ends with a thank you. As I have already told, thank you in the sense कि yes, you have given your valuable time here, so thank you for that, right? So this is the speech writing. Now let's see the purpose of writing a speech. Means what is a purpose? Means what is the purpose of writing a speech? So the main purpose of writing speech are to convey information orally to a large gathering of people. Second, to express opinion and facts. So, what is the main purpose? Is to convey the information orally to a large gathering. For example, nowadays, what these politicians are doing, they are delivering information regarding their parties to the public. If you invite any chief guest, right? So if the chief guest is related to education, so they deliver a speech related to education to educate the people. When you go to colleges, when you go to some large platforms where there are different types of a speaker from all over the country, from all over the world. What they do, they give a informative as well as inspiring speeches to a large gathering of people. And second, to express opinion and facts. For example, if I have an opinion in biotechnology, so I can give a number of a number of hours in delivering the speeches. Why? Because this is my area of interest, and I will deliver to that audience that have an interest in biotechnology, right? So this is basically a purpose of speech. Now moving on, the format. If we talk about the format, so in a speech, format plays a very important role. The first one is opening and second is closing. If I talk about opening, so opening means how you start your speech, how you address the audience, right? So opening, under the opening comes the address the audience with greetings. Greetings in the sense, hi, welcome you all. It is a immense pleasure, you know to deliver a speech in front of you wonderful peoples. Second, you give a brief introduction about yourself. Yes, I am so and so in this institution, right? A very very brief introduction, only your name and what are you doing in that organization, what is your you know work there. Then comes the topic and occasion. If you are a speaker, you are delivering a speech in any institution, any colleges, so what is the topic of deliver? Or if the speech is on a certain occasion related to marriage, related to engagement, related to any political issues or any other, so you have to tell what is the topic of the speech. Then comes the closing. Closing means conclude and thanks the audience. Means you have to thanks the audience to giving their valuable time for listening the speaker very patiently and giving their and interest in listening. Because a speaker, when there is a speaker, so they get motivated or they get very confident when they see yes, the audience is also participating and audience is also enjoying the speech. They are also have a keen interest in listening a particular speaker. So that all things makes the speaker a very motivational person. They build their confidence level goes high and high, while seeing an audience is also interacting at the same time, right? So also the audience is showing their keen interest in listening. So this is the format, means opening and closing. Whereas in opening you address the audience with greetings, introduction of yourself, or an introduction of a particular topic or an occasion. Then after that, closing means concluding the audience and saying them a thank you. Now comes language specification. This is very important. What does this language specification means in speech writing? Let's see. The first is interactive, means the segment of the speech should be very interactive, means you have a capability of interacting with the audience, and because of that only your confidence level will be built, and the audience which is there to listen you become have shows their interest, right? So use direct language. Start from today, wake up before it's too late, etc. Means, these are some basic, or you can say these are some SOPs, or you can say USPs. Sorry, not SOPs, USPs of using indirect languages. For example, start your day, wake up before it's too late, etc. All these, phrases that should be used in your speeches. Then rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions means, have you ever thought of it? These are some rhetorical questions where you address the audience by asking them, yes, have you ever thought of it? Oh, do not need any answer, right? Then be polite, don't shout while giving any speech. Make sure you are very polite, you are very warming, right? You are very humble, right? There is no need to shout. There is no need to say, deliver a speech in a loud voice. Why? Because that is not something that audience wants from a speaker. You should always be in a polite manner, or in a humble way, right? Then direct suggestions. We must act now. If you are delivering something, so you have to give a direct suggestion. Yes, we must act now, means after delivering a speech, or in between that some important on an important line, you can ask them, now it's a time, we have to pull up our socks and we must act now. Then come use present tenses, means simple and continuous. If required, use future tenses also. See, in English, tenses plays a very important role in English languages, right? So you should always use very simple continuous tenses. But if some time required, so then you can always use future tenses. There's no issue in that. Then comes use modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries means, modal and auxiliaries means must, should, need to, ought to. Use pronouns. This point is very important, right? While delivering or while writing any speech, you should always use pronouns. Means we, mainly, I, you. Then hypothetical situation based on fact. Think of the day when all resources will be depleted. Means if you are delivering any speech related to environment, and related to pollution, so you should always ask the listener, ask the audience to think hypothetically, means based on that particular fact. Means if we if we don't stop in cutting trees, or if the pollution will goes on becomes more, so you have to think on that situation hypothetically means think of the day when all the resources will be depleted, then from where you get petroleum, from where you get things of a livelihood, right? Then the last language specification point says use right punctuation marks, semicolon, or extended information where you have to write to a punctuation where you have to put full stop. If you are delivering something, you have to give the pause, right? For example, I am saying something, then I have to stop, then comma, then I will start the second sentence. Or you should always use full stop, questions mark, right? Then comes how to write the speech. All the points that we have covered, like what is speech writing, we have seen what is the basic requirement or what is the benefit of writing speech writing, in which format is speech writing is done, right? Then we will see the language specification, what is the language specification that is being used in while writing any speech. Then comes how to write a certain speech. Let's see, this is very important. Opening paragraph means first paragraph. Open the speech with the quotation, saying a slogan, question, address the audience with greetings, introduction, and topic. So, whenever you are opening a speech, means your very first paragraph, it and that paragraph must start with any slogan or any saying. Yeah, Shakespeare once said dash dash dash, and then you start your speech. Or sometimes you deliver a welcome speech, means a very warm welcome to all the participant or all the audience present here. Thank you for your valuable time to come and join us on this occasion. Or you give a very brief introduction. Yes, I am so and so, I am your host, or I am your speaker tonight, right? And you have to tell the topic on which you are going to deliver a speech. Then comes the second, that is introduction, means second paragraph. Reference to the fact and figures, data represent situation, analysis, example. Means second paragraph must have a reference to a certain facts and figures. You must have a data on a particular topic that you are going to deliver, and you should always refer to a present situation analysis, and by giving them a number of examples. Then comes the third paragraph, that is body content, means reason, problems, challenges, and other factors related to the topic. You should always, body content says what is the reason problem, right? What is the reason problem? Then comes what are the challenges and other factors related to the topic. Now comes the fourth paragraph, that is body content again. Warning, measures, personal opinion, future impact, benefits, other relevant steps. Means in whenever you are delivering any speech related to any topic, you should always give a personal opinion about the future impact. If pollution is not been reduced, then what is the impact of the pollution in the near future, right? Then the last one says closing paragraph. Then how to close a certain paragraph. Appeal to the audience to bring a desirable change, right? As discussed earlier, this point. Then at last says thank you listeners. You should always thank listeners for their time, for their valuable time, and for listening to you very patiently, right? For their interaction. So you should always thank the listeners. Then comes a sample. Now I have given you a very brief introduction about what is speech writing, what is the format, what is the language specification, why speech writing is used, what are the different the purpose of speech writing. So now let's see a quick sample. Okay, then you will get an idea how to write a speech. So let's suppose you are a Gopal or a Gauri, right? Whosoever, whether you are a male or a female, if you have to deliver a speech, then how it should be, right? So a sample is: write a speech to be delivered at school on our dependence on gadget and machines, and the world limit should be 150 to 200. So if you have to deliver, this is a topic, since our dependence on gadgets means on mobiles and on machines. So how should be it should be written. Now let's see. So the first thing what you do means making a speech. First of all, what you do, greeting the audience by saying, yes, good morning, good morning, esteemed guest and all intellectuals, right? So what you have to say, good morning, and by saying good morning, what you are doing, you are greeting the audience, right? Then comes making a speech. How you make a speech attractive? By what I have what I have told you, means by starting, the first paragraph should be by starting anything by any slogan or by any saying, right? So here we use a slogan or by saying, right? Why we are doing this? By for making the audience for making the speech attractive. For example, rightly said by Bill Gates. Rightly said by Bill Gates: while we all are very dependent on technology, it doesn't always work, right? Then you have to give your introduction. I am XYZ, means your name, and Dean, it is my pleasure to share my views on today's men's who gradually becoming a slave to machine. Means this is the introduction, means. And let's see, I agree that we have become so dependent on the machine that our life wouldn't come to stand still without them. Means this is in a present tense and you are delivering and in this paragraph, it is the first paragraph where you have given your introduction about the topic and what is your opinion on this topic, and all the things, all the sentence here is used in the present tense. Then comes, right from the time we rise to a time to go to the sleep, we depend on various machines which have become implacable. Very good. Then, with an evidence of mobile phones and computers, things have become worse and situation is becoming alarming. Where are we going? Though where are we going? It is a rhetorical questions where you are asking a audience where are we going, right? So again, this paragraph is in present situation, right? This is a present situation, right? Because all the people on this planet, on this earth, are using mobile phones, using electronic gadgets, starting from the day till the end of the day, means after the day, till the at the night, all before we sleep. We always have a tendency to check our phones, right? So our life is just rotating around gadgets. Then the fourth paragraph says, too much depends on the gadgets and machine is harmful for our physical as well as for mental health. It is hazardous for the environment too. Don't you think we are responsible for this? Again, a rhetorical questions, and this in this paragraph you are telling the audience the hazardous result of using technologies. Then comes, we should not get our preferences and know our limit. So we should get our preferences, and you should always know our limits. Now here you are concluding, right? After all, man is the noblest creature of God. We must take a pause and think again where we are heading to, and what could be the further consequences of it. We need to apply brakes to safeguard the future of coming generation. So here what we are doing, we are concluding our paragraph, right? So this is your opinion in this paragraph, ki what should we do and what should we have to think on. Then after that, before in this paragraph, what we are trying to do, we are trying to provide any solution or alternative to a problem identification in the conclusion. Now lastly, you have to thank the audience, means thank you audience for listening me patiently, or you can also say thank you all for your valuable time, for your precious time. You should always thank the audience. So this is all about the speech writing. So in speech writing, what all we have covered, let's see quickly. We have covered the introduction, means what is speech writing, right? We have seen the purpose of writing any speech. Then we have seen the format, how to open any speech and how to close any speech. Then what is the language specification while writing any as a speech. Then how to write a speech, means there are different types of paragraph, first paragraph, second, third, fourth and fifth. In which paragraph you have to write what, in which paragraph you have to conclude, right? And we have seen a sample. So in this, the basic thing, student, is that you should always write a speech that must be very attractive by using different saying, by using different slogans. Because when the speech becomes attractive now, so at that point, people or the audience may connect with you, right? And give their valuable time. But if the speech is boring, then none of us have so much time in listening to you. So make sure your speech should always be attractive. Thank you. And please student, don't forget to subscribe ITLS Academy. You can also follow ITLS Academy on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, and please subscribe ITLS Academy. And you should always, and you can also visit our website, that is www.itlsacademy.com. Our helpline number is 7080833450. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.